Hello, my name is Gerraint Jones-Griffiths. I am 24 years of age and I am the lead ambassador for the Engage to Change project. Either 12 or 13. I definitely wasn't 16 because I was still in comprehensive when I first received the diagnosis, or the first stages of comps, maybe year 7, year 8, maybe. At the time, it was a negative. To be quite honest, it was a very dark time in my life, simply because I didn't know what it meant. And I knew I would have understanding difficulties, not I had this stable. And plus, I was also told I wouldn't be able to achieve one GCSE qualification in school due to my lack of understanding. And for me, that was quite hard to take. Since having training around autism and actually knowing what it meant, and plus you can have help and support with it, not just in employment, just living with autism in general. It has really changed my opinion on it, and I see it now as a positive, because now I can actually now explain to people around the benefits of being autistic, and that it's actually a gift, and that you shouldn't really deny on who you are. But the challenges I face is definitely to do with my understanding. So in an everyday circumstance, the employer would have to repeat the instructions twice to me so I can process that information and do the task effectively. So this was back in 2015. I was studying business and administration level 2 in the Coleg Gwent learning zone. I passed my exams, and in 2016 I was about to enroll to level 3 business and administration, until I received a phone call from Zoe Richards, who is the Chief Executive Officer for Learning Disability Wales, who are also the lead partner for Engage to Change. Zoe offered me a paid job, which was the Engage Change project administrator. This was 16 hours a week at Learning Disability Wales. Instantly I went for it, because I thought, well, you go to college to get a job at the end of it, and now I've been offered a job, there's no need for me to go back to college. So support I had was, I had a job coach, which was provided by Elite Supported Employment Agency, who is the delivery partner for South Wales for the project. I had a job coach straight away, so they helped me get settled in. I had my, I think it was a 6-month probation period, and I had a 6-month work placement paid for by the project through Elite. And after 6 months, Learning Disability Wales suddenly decided to keep me on permanently. So therefore I was in sustained employment. So I've been quite fortunate in that respect. Process was very good. It was a 2-day job interview. It was held on Cardiff Bay. The first day was about knowing the panel and who they were. So that started to get to know the panel on Thursday, which was quite good. That was a great introduction, I thought. And they kind of gave us a fun thing to do, kind of draw something about us, so what we like, hobbies and interests and stuff. But second day was, well, they asked us questions, things like, what could you bring to the table as lead ambassador? How could you see yourself after the project, and how could you kind of push the project forward? So I've always seen the project as a legacy, simply being that it's a very unique project, and it's great to work in the third sector. So with non-profit organizations, because we all work together quite closely, and it's a great project to be on. It gives me real joy to actually seeing people go to work and actually seeing what the project provides, and it is life-changing, because many participants haven't been in work before. They've only just really been to college or got a couple of qualifications, and they've never really experienced internships or apprenticeships or anything to do with employment. So yeah, it's a real life changer for them. 2 different roles, being the lead ambassador. My main roles are speaking to employers about the benefit of employing young people with autism and or learning disability, and likewise I speak to young people about the benefits of them being in employment. Benefits of young people: they can have more financial controls, they can be more financially independent, as they have a wage coming in either weekly or monthly. Many participants have become travel independently, so they can use public transport where they haven't really done before, because there's no need for them to travel transport, whereas working, they had to adapt. Part of my role then is chairing or co-chairing a number of different conferences. I've been on exhibitions at events with project partners, and networking with different organizations, which is always interesting, knowing what they do, their backgrounds, and how the project kind of link in with that. And also I line manage for project ambassadors as well. So of course, during the pandemic, COVID, we haven't been able to go anywhere. So I have monthly catch-ups with them, like on Zoom or phone call, and I deliver presentation training with them, just make sure their memory is up to date and for when they do need to speak online. So every Friday afternoon, I host what's called an English exchange for an hour. So it's basically me dressing up in bizarre wigs, outfits, inflatable instruments, and I basically play songs, and it's basically a free-for-all karaoke session. It's brilliant. And it's nice to see, because at the minute, in the media and on the news, it's been quite doom and gloomy with COVID and the cases and the number of deaths. I just kind of want to take people away from that. So I kind of bring like the nightclub nights and the fun stuff to their home rather than they going out to look for it. So that's kind of what I do on a Friday. And it first started off with the first 2 weeks, about 5 or 6 people coming in. And last week it's gone up to like 20, 22. So it's been a massive movement, and it's nice to see that people actually do enjoy it. Since being in employment, I can, because I have a living wage that I have since 2015, 2016, ever since I've started with the project, I can possibly look in future about moving out, from my own place of my own, because I have a financial stability, if you like. I can travel across the whole of Wales independently, which I never would have done before if it wasn't for Engage to Change. I had quite a lot of support from that, so like with travel training, but I had also support from my line manager, and I've gained great independence from that. But I've actually gained from being in lockdown, to be honest, because in lockdown I actually had another job with Always People First, who is the evaluation partner for the project. So they host the Engage Change evaluation forums. So this is the outreach worker. So it's about having members signing up to Wales as new members, and it's free membership, and trying to see what issues are matters to them the most, that they can actually bring to me, which I can then pass on to All Wales as the outreach worker. I get often told that I wouldn't be able to achieve one GCSE qualification back when I was 12, 13. And then I actually proved them wrong. So I actually came out with 5 or 6 GCSEs. I then went on to college to get more qualifications, and now I'm the lead ambassador for a project worth £10 million funded by the Welsh Government, which is administered by the National Lottery Community Fund. If you would ask me would I be doing the lead ambassador and the outreach worker job, say 10 years ago, I would have said no, definitely not. But with the right support put in place, anything is achievable. And I just think that there needs to be more awareness raised about, not just awareness around learning disabilities or autism, but just more awareness of just support in employment and more support through these diagnoses. Because now, like I said earlier, that with the diagnosis I went through, I can now inspire, if you like, people to say, right, okay, the diagnosis can be a bit difficult to talk about, because they have to give you, like, the things that you are going to struggle with, but you can have support with that. You haven't got to go through them alone. And I often get asked, in a nutshell, what would you say to people through the life that you've lived so far? And I just basically say, A is not for autism, A is for achievement. Your life is your ambition. You put in, and what is what you get out of it.